Hello. Thank you and welcome to another edition of Salome Says, where you learn to dive deeper into knowing and understanding who you are and living life authentically. All right. I know we talked a little bit about what it means when I say living life authentically, okay? It means diving deeper. It means living in your truth. It means getting to terms with who you are. It means exploring those layers that makes you who you are. It means learning about yourself, understanding yourself. It means taking accountability. It means you being dedicated to yourself and dedicated in a way that you are living this life according to how you want it to be, which means no blaming anyone else for anything, which means standing up and taking initiative, which means prioritizing what it is that you need to do, which means always allowing yourself the space to learn. All right, even if you don't agree with something, agree with someone, you want to keep an open mind, learn or try to understand what it is that person may be telling you, learn from it and see the value in it. Now, some things that some people do say to you have no value. At least it's not coming from a place of wanting to help you, teach you, help you elevate. Those ones you don't want to follow. Those kinds of advice you want to leave wherever you got it from, or you want to leave it with whomever is speaking those things out of their mouth. Okay, you don't want to take that in, because your goal in life is to make sure you're getting these information, processing them, and seeing the value within them, and seeing how you can apply those things to your life. And that's your goal. So when I say living life authentically, that's what I mean. It encompasses everything I'm talking about. Understanding yourself, getting to know yourself, exploring aspects of yourself. It's like peeling the layers into discovering, rediscovering who you are. All right? So I thank you again for tuning into Salome Says, where you learn to dive deeper into knowing and understanding who you are. It's not a one-step thing, it's an ongoing thing. It's a life journey, right? Because you can really never truly know yourself. You know aspects of yourself, but you're going to be rediscovering aspects of yourself, discovering aspects of yourself, going back to the things, the basics, the things that really bring you joy, happiness. Finding those things if you haven't figured that out yet, because I know a lot of us have not really found out what it is that makes us happy. I'm going to do a video on that, because I speak to a lot of people through my work, and just because I'm an extrovert and an interesting person, all right, and I do speak to people, and I'm realizing that a lot of people just don't know what it takes to make themselves happy, or even how to make themselves happy. And I'm going to keep doing research. I'm going to learn more and bring you that information, okay? Thank you for tuning in today. So today we're going to take a different turn, right? And that different turn is going to be talking about something completely differently from what I've been discussing for like the past 4 or 5 months. But it's a very important topic, okay? I talked to my friends about it. I even chatted with someone about it yesterday, because I'm very passionate about talking about ways to improve my life, get the knowledge that I have to gain in order to be able to bring this information to you. Because if I don't understand it, I'm not able to bring it to you, right? All right? So having conversations with people about this topic I'm going to bring to you today, I realize it could really benefit people, because just from the perspective that I understand it to be and the way I'm interpreting it to people, they're finding the value in it. So I asked a friend yesterday, I said, do you think I can do a video on this, and do you think it will resonate with just one person? And he was like, yeah, do it, so let me do it. So I decided to do it today. This has completely taken over the topic for today, but I think it's a really great topic too that I can share with you. So let's get into it, okay? So the topic that I really had in mind to discuss with you today is about expectations. When we think about expectations, what do we really mean? Usually when we think about expectations, we're thinking about it in terms of the expectation we hold for other people, right? I expect you to do this for me. This is what I expect you to do, because if you don't, then it means this about you. Those are the expectations we have usually of other people. But what I am talking about today is the expectation you place on yourself when it comes to relationships with yourself and relationships with other people, right? But what I've realized though is the fact that we don't have expectations of ourselves, right? So meaning that you have to know what it is that you want for you in order to be able to look for those characteristics or traits in other people or in another person, right? So if you're not very clear on the expectations for yourself, it makes it very difficult to be clear about how you want other people to respond to you or treat you. All right? So it all goes back to, it all starts with you, right? So when we see people in our lives treating us a certain way, and we find ourselves tolerating that unfavorable treatment, it says more about us than it does about the other person who's treating us in a very poor manner, right? And that's what I want to bring to you today. It's important though that we are very clear on our standards, because if you're not clear, how can you tell someone else how you would like to be treated? All right, so and the reason this topic came to being is because I was listening to a book on Audible. I have committed myself to listening to about 2 books a month, because knowledge is wealth, right? So you want to make sure you are providing your brain with the knowledge necessary to understand facets of yourself and then be able to educate other people about that, right? So after listening to a book, I realized, and the book talked mostly about expectations for ourselves, and I listened to it very keenly and it resonated with me. I realized all the mistakes I have made in my life with relationships, with partners, relationships with myself, relationships with other people, has not gone well in the past is because I never really placed that expectation on myself. I never really allow myself to create this level of standard for myself. I always thought that I was being mean if I held myself at a certain standard and did not deviate from that, and which I thought would not create a room for anyone to make mistakes, not allowing people to be their true selves and to learn from mistakes, because I thought having those very rigid expectations were very strict. It doesn't allow a person to really get the opportunity to revamp themselves, right? That's what I thought. So as a result, what that did, just from having that mindset of not putting me first but everyone else's needs first, what that did for me was it kept me stuck, it kept me down, it kept me tolerating behaviors and people that I wouldn't otherwise tolerate, because now the focus shift from me and what I wanted to other people and how I could finagle somehow to include them in my life, regardless if they were kind or great to me. If I saw one characteristic of them that I thought was good, I held on to that. But everything else, if that person was lacking, I made excuses for that. If you're like me, I'm sure you have made those kind of mistakes before, okay? A lot of us have made those mistakes where we put other people's interests ahead of us, right? We've made that mistakes where we diminish our power or desire or standards to accommodate other people for fear of seeming mean, harsh, whatever other layers of label people place on you just to be manipulative. Usually that's what it is. It's manipulation, right? So speaking with my friend the other day, we were talking and she shared that the person she's speaking with is not very engaging, right? So the old Salome used to always want someone to engage with me, especially in like a romantic relationship. So if I met a guy or met someone and we were talking, I thought you were the one where that in my mind, I thought the person pursuing me should be the one asking the questions, right? It's almost like an apple waiting to get picked. So you have no say so. You're just sitting there waiting for someone to desire you and pick you, like you have no say so in picking who you want and what you want and taking your power back. That's what one thing I realized throughout my journey, and I shared that with my friend. You are the one in charge of the people you allow in your life. And how do you do that? By properly vetting those people, by properly making sure that these people that you are allowing into your space, that you're giving your energy to or conversation to, it's important. If you're out there just having conversations with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and not knowing how that person's energy can affect your life, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So you want to be very mindful of that. You want to watch out about the people you're surrounding yourself with. But in order to be able to watch out for the people you're surrounding yourself with, you have to be clear on what it is that you want. I can't stress that enough, and it's true, right? So back to the conversation with my friend. I told her, you are the one in charge, right? So, excuse me. You are the one in charge. What that means is if a person comes into your life that you have somewhat of an interest in, it's your job to ask them the necessary questions to make sure whatever it is they're bringing to the table, to make sure who they are as a person aligns with who you are as a person. You're no longer sitting around waiting to get picked, like you have no say-so in the matter. Because at the end of the day, the person that you pick or the person that you align yourself with have to mirror who you are. Yeah, they might be bringing something differently to the table to enhance your life. You want that too. But at the core of everything, those basic values are important to you, are extremely important that you look for that in other people. All right, but you wouldn't be able to do that if you're not clear about what those values are about you. So you need to be people who are respecting of your opinion and your truth, your voice. People who love you just for being who you are. People who are bringing something valuable to the table to enhance your life. People who actually value human beings. A person in your life, it might be different for you. It might be you value communication in a partnership with a person, right? So if you do value communication in a partnership, you want to ask whomever you're communicating with about their communication style. All right, if you're not asking those questions and actually taking life by the wheel and actually driving it, you're not going to get the answers you want. You will find yourself tolerating people who values and goals in life don't align with you. That's when this whole, what's it called, situationship comes in, right? I have been a victim of that too. I have done that where I have entertained people and fear even having deeper conversations, right? Because my mind focused at the time on the surface level, right? It was surface level. Let's talk about your day, what you did today, what you like to do for fun. We meet, we have a connection, and we're having a good time. But we're not really sitting down. I'm not really sitting down at the time to really process what it is that I actually want of this person. All right, so asking those necessary questions in the beginning and making sure you are clear on your standards and what it is that you want will eliminate you wasting your time. Because now I don't have to engage you for the next 6 months only to find out we don't have the same communication skills, only to find out we don't have the same standards, only to find out we don't have the same goals, we're not looking for the same thing, and you are over there telling me whenever I'm ready. Why should I be putting my needs on hold to accommodate you? But that only happens to some people when we don't properly sit down and say, this is what I deserve, this is what I want, based on who you are. And remember, you have to be exactly what it is that you say you want. If you want a good communicator as a partner, then you need to be that, okay? Because that's the only way you'll be able to tell or decipher who aligns with those values that you're looking for. It's important, all right? So I told my friend, ask those questions, all right? Ask those questions, because you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for you, because you value yourself so much on your time to do yourself a disservice by not properly vetting people you allow into your life. It's not about them. It might come up a little harsh sometimes, because some people just want you to go with the flow. Do not ever go with the flow. Yes, we can go with the flow somewhat, but if there's going to be some level of understanding as to where we are in this process. Because at the end of the day, your needs have to be important. You are the only one that can be responsible for you and your needs. So you have to make sure you're looking out for you. And by that, asking those very hard questions, okay? You might think it's hard. At the end of the day, people that come into your life have to embody what it is that you stand for. And if they don't need to be in your life. And it's okay getting rid of people, letting go of people, because guess what happens when you let go of dead weight, as I like to call them, dead weight. When you let go of dead weight, which means people that contribute nothing to your life, to your growth, when you let go of those people and you put your mind in that space of receiving abundance from God, the universe, whomever your higher power is, guess what happens? The universe works in your favor to get you what you want, all right? Because you have been clear about that. You have been intentional about that. So guess what happens? You get what you want. And this is why it was important today for me to bring this message. Not only did I talk to my friend about this, I talked to many men about it. And we're just trying to find a way to eliminate this issue of being tied or emotionally invested in someone and not knowing what's going on, or you don't know what the next step is going to be. All right, I have been there. I have entertained people hoping that eventually they will make a decision for me. Do you see how stupid that is, or that was of me at the time? I mean, for real, we start being our own worst enemy by sabotaging the exact thing that we say we want. And how do we sabotage that? By not really being clear about what it is that we want. Because when you're clear about what you want and you are convicted in what it is that you want, because at the end of the day, what it is that you want benefits you, you wouldn't settle for anything less, and you shouldn't settle for anything less. Your spirit would not settle for anything less. I have people telling me that, well, Salome, if you are like this, that doesn't leave a wiggle room for people. And I say to myself, but if I am accommodating other people and their flaws, and especially those flaws are massive in the way it does not make me happy, this is not the person that I want to be around or be with. They're not showing me what it is that I really want out of another person, that fulfills me, that keeps me in tune, connected with that person. If they're not that person, why am I tolerating that and adjusting what it is that I want? We call it compromise, right? Why am I adjusting or compromising what I want to accommodate someone else? At the end of the day, the person gets you, right? They get you bending over backwards to accommodate them. That is called settling. It's called you're settling, okay? I just want to make that very clear. It's called you're settling. So when you conform to compromises and putting your needs at the back burner, then you settle for just whatever. That does not make you happy. Nobody wants to settle, because when you do, you're not happy. Strive for getting exactly what you want. It may not happen now, it might take a while, but be dedicated to making yourself better. In turn, you will get exactly what you want, exactly what's destined for you, so you can live the rest of your life happy. So that will require you maybe enduring some uncomfortable situation, not so good relationships, but you always have to be in the place of learning, okay? Remember, I've said this before. Every opportunity in life, it could be a good thing, a bad thing, something that you view as unpleasant. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, all right? I like to refer to it as experiences. Life is full of experiences, right? Look at it as just that. Be clear on what it is that you want. Be very specific about it in terms of, I want a mutually beneficial relationship, right? So what that means is I'm not going to align myself with someone who just wants the benefit off of me, who is bringing nothing to the table, who is not adding meaningfully to my life, who is not at the same point as I am, who does not want the same things as me. I would not entertain that person. And the reason is because entertaining those kind of people, all they do is bring you down with them, and you would never have a clear direction, right? And you will find yourself in situationships or other dead end relationships with a lot of people, all right? But you owe it to yourself to be happy. You owe it to yourself to get exactly what you want. You owe it to yourself to live life to the fullest. You owe it to yourself to be the best you. You owe it to yourself to live authentically in every way possible, because guess what, the people that you're sitting around admiring, they are struggling just like you, all right? No, everybody's trying to figure out the next step just like you, all right? So don't diminish who you are and put another person on the pedestal. Nobody goes on the pedestal, okay? You can respect them, they can add value to your life. That's great. I respect you, you add value to my life. I enjoy our relationship. That is a meaningful, beneficial relationship. It's a mutually beneficial and meaningful relationship. That's what you want. But you can't get that if you're not that person, all right? If you want people to be good to you, you have to be a good person to yourself. Because if you are good to yourself, you'll only require good people in your life. You owe it to yourself. You have one life to live, all right? And I told somebody this yesterday. This is going to be my final saying before I go. I said to someone yesterday, and I said, life has no do-overs, right? Think about it. Let's say when you do transition. My girlfriend I just spoke with, she said, instead of saying death, when you do die, use transition. All right, so let's say you leave this earth and you transition to the other world, the spiritual world, right? Let's say you did that. You're not going to have a second chance to come back on earth to do what it is that you didn't do, to be the person that you wanted to be but did not find the time to be, did not make yourself a priority. You don't have the opportunity for a do-over. So this is your life. Now that you're alive and breathing, I mean, what a blessing, what a gift to be able to wake up every morning, open your eyes and have a plan for your day, right? You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be always great at it. But guess what? When you take that one step, what happens? The other foot follows. And when you put that one foot forward, the other foot follows. Eventually you will get there. But you have to be committed to yourself. You have to be committed to living your best life. You have to be committed to you. All right? Because at the end of the day, you matter. At the end of the day, you are important. And you have to believe that. Not just say it to yourself. Believe it, all right? So how do you believe it? You may even need to stand in front of a mirror and say those words. I am important. I am deserving. I am beautiful. Whatever you can tell yourself, eventually those words will sound believable to you, and you will start to embrace it, and you will start to walk in your truth and own it, because you are just that. All right? Nobody has walked in your shoes. Don't ever allow your past hurt, trauma, and everything keeps you from living your best life. Okay? Invest in yourself. Invest in the people that you surround with. Properly vetting them, okay? Take the time. When you take the time to get to know someone, take the time to be present and get to know them. And always remember, you come first. So if that person's values don't align with who you are, don't feel bad eliminating them for your life. It's okay. It's only for the best, okay? Because you come first. You matter. If you're not happy, you can't make other people happy. And a lot of times when we put our happiness on the back burner to accommodate someone else, guess what happens? We end up being very, 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 very unhappy. And my goal for you is to live in your truth. Be happy. Absorb everything this life have to offer. All right? Live life authentically. Thank you. This is another edition of Salome Says. I am committed to bringing you videos every week. Shout out to my cousin Collins Ani in Nigeria. He's been editing my videos. He's awesome. If you need to contact him, let me know and I will make the connection. But for now, we're done here. And remember to always be authentically you, because guess what, a lot of people are trying to get to know who they are and just live life without worrying about other people's opinion. At the end of the day, they're just opinion, they don't matter, and usually those come out of jealousy. So own your stuff, be clear, very very clear about what it is that you want to own it. Make no apologies for how awesome you are and live in your truth. All right, again, come here every week for new video updates. I'm gonna be posting them, all right? And you can follow my website. I have a website called Modern Intervention Strategy. So make sure you put the www.moderninterventionsstrategy.org. That's my website. You can go in there and book a session with me. Like I said, I am a therapist. I own a private practice. Book a session if you want to explore more into knowing and understanding who you are and living life authentically. All right, this is my time. Thank you and have a great day. God bless you.